The fourth immutable principle of a dynamic culture is to hire with rigorous discipline. Most organizations are really bad at hiring. In fact, less than 5% of organizations are considered good at hiring. Not great, but good. 5% of organizations. Why? Well, most don't have a hiring process. And even those that do have a hiring process, they don't stick to their hiring process. And when we don't have a hiring process, then it's up to how people feel on a certain day or their personal preference towards a candidate. And when we get into those dynamics, we almost always make hiring mistakes. Most organizations are quick to make hiring mistakes, and most organizations are slow to fix hiring mistakes. We tend to hire too quickly and fire too slowly. And so great organizations, they have a hiring process and they stick to the hiring process, and as a result of that, they hire with rigorous discipline. Let's take a look at the top 10 mistakes organizations make when hiring people. Number one, not being crystal clear on what you want a person to accomplish in the role. Clarity matters, knowing what you're looking for. Number two, they focus too much on filling the position rather than ensuring that they find the right person for the position. Number three, asking the wrong questions in the interview process, talking too much in the interview, and failing to let the candidate speak, even if it means wading through those long, awkward, silent pauses. Number four, hiring the best candidate from the pool. Sure, you have a pool of candidates, but the person you're looking for might not be in the first pool of candidates you find. You might need another pool of candidates. Number five, first impression bias. Most people decide if they're going to hire a person or not hire a person within the first 30 seconds of an interview. What's that based on? It's based on first impression bias. Number six, neglecting to call references. I see this over and over and over again. Somebody makes a hiring mistake. We come to them, we say, okay, what did their references say about them when you hired them? And inevitably the answer is, I didn't call their references. Number seven, hiring someone for the wrong reasons, such as doing a favor for somebody else. Happens in every organization at some point. We do a favor for somebody, but we end up hiring the wrong person into a role to do a favor for someone, and ultimately we're not doing a favor for anybody. Number eight, no consistent interview process. If you're going to interview 7 candidates, you need to ask the 7 candidates exactly the same questions. Number 9, failure to adequately prepare other team members who will be interviewing the candidate. One person should never interview the candidates and make the decision. It should be a group of people interviewing candidates and then discussing candidates, because we all see different things. We all have blind spots. Other people will see our blind spots, bring attention to our blind spots, and help us ultimately hire the best candidate. And number 10, hiring someone from the outside when someone inside the organization would be a much better fit. Very often we have a bias towards hiring external talent, but the reality is knowing an organization is an enormous benefit. When we're promoting somebody into a role, knowing the organization is an enormous benefit when we're looking for someone to play a key role in an organization. They're the 10 top hiring mistakes that organizations make, and every organization makes them at some time. How do we cut down on making these hiring mistakes? By having a hiring process and sticking to that hiring process so that we hire with rigorous discipline. At the end of the day, being great at hiring is about knowing what you're looking for, both on a macro level and on a micro level. On the macro level, I recommend that organizations decide what are the 3 things they want every person in the organization to have. What are the 3 qualities they want every person they hire to possess? The 3 qualities I like are committed, coachable, and aware. Of course, when you're hiring someone, you don't know if they're going to be committed to this role, but you can see, have they been committed to other things in the past? Do they know what it looks like to commit to something? Committed. Coachable. How do they respond to feedback? Champions love feedback. Champions love coaching. They actually crave coaching. And all great cultures have coaching at the heart of them. And aware. Emotional intelligence is disappearing from our culture at a staggering rate. At a staggering rate. The most essential learning, the most essential skill in the life of an organization in the next 20 years will be emotional intelligence. It will be awareness. Are people aware of what's happening within them? Are people aware of what's happening around them? Are people aware of how what they are doing or saying is affecting other people on their team, in the organization, customers? Are we aware? Committed, coachable, aware. At a macro level, these are the three things that I look for. On a micro level, we're looking for specific skills that it takes to fulfill this role. Does this person have a track record of executing on these specific skills? The fourth immutable principle of a dynamic culture is to hire with rigorous discipline. Stop making hiring mistakes. Get yourself a hiring process and stick to that process with rigorous discipline.